Alright, so I thought I'd do a quick video showing off my Pachinko machine. Basically, I built a stand for this thing, and now that I've got mostly finished and I just need to do the painting and get some other stuff knocked out here, I figured I'd show it off a little bit, show what it can do. Basically, I wanted it to be able to function very well with the actual Pachinko machine itself, so to make sure I did that, I had to make sure that it basically would handle any of the functionality that's inside of this here. So basically, I had to make sure that we had stability, so I needed to put in some shelving here to give it some rigidness. I needed to have access to some of the functions and stuff, which basically can only be accessed from the back in most cases. So what I did is I ran some pulleys and stuff like that in the top area, and I made a door for it so that I can get into it from there. Still has a couple of little flaws I got to work on, specifically the ball return for when you lose and all. Sometimes gets caught up. The ramp in there was never placed properly, so it blocks a little bit of the lip inside the main hole, causes a problem. So showcase this a little bit here. So I decided when I was digging around for different parts, I would go with something that would kind of have a matching system here. So I've got a drawer underneath the Pachinko machine. There's actually a hole in it that as the balls drain through, which there's a little lever here that I put a little tab on. You pull this, it releases the lever, drains all the balls out of the thing, out at the bottom. So having this drawer allows me to quickly drain the entire system out, and I can just pull the drawer right completely out of it. Then, up at the top, I also have this I built so that I can access it quickly. And inside of here, we have a pole here. This releases the glass on the machine, so I don't have to go behind it to do it. I have a filler here and all, which needs to be rebuilt because it's not quite very functional, plus it looks terrible. But I figured eventually I could get myself some sort of like a round tube or something like that and all that I can work with. I'll rip all this out, replace it. This knob in the back actually releases the front door and all, that opens the whole unit up so I can get into it for any repairs, which I can still do from the back because I didn't put an actual back on this just yet. I plan on doing a back pretty much like a pegboard like this is here, because if I turn this sideways, I can use it as a wall, and the pegboard allow me to put some, some pegs and some hardware in that allows me to hang up like amiibos and stuff that are still in the box, so I can display them on the back side of it and utilize the space better. And I put a drawer, bottom shelf on here, and all just give me some extra space to work with. One of the things I want to do still with this is, when I have the chance, I'm going to take this here. I'm either going to carve in Pachinko in Japanese, maybe use some English characters so people know what it is, and then I want to either carve it out completely, put backlighting in here so that I can use the backlighting, or I will just put lettering on top of it, paint this whole thing, and then the letters themselves I'll use glow-in-the-dark paint on, and then clear coat the thing so that when I turn black lights on, those letters will light up and stuff, similar to that. Another thing I want to do, I'd love to put some lighting in here, just to kind of light it all up. The lights in this still have to be rewired because the lights and stuff are pretty much, they're old as heck. I mean, the machine itself is from the 60s, but given the stamp in the corner, having the actual dates and stuff here, I almost think that's actually 1948 from what it looks like, but I can't be 100% sure. This model is actually from well in the past, about the 60s, late 60s, early 70s. So, but for the most part, if you've never seen what a Pachinko machine is, just flip this lever, try to get into the payout areas here. As you can see, the balls get caught in this, which is one of the things I need to work on to get that fixed. No payouts. Yeah, eventually it'll start draining through if they get enough of them. Like I said, this here drains the entire system. Basically, it lifts up a block that stops these balls from going further, and the entire machine feeds this tray for the payout. So as everything gets drained out, it goes right out the system completely. So this here is, for the most part, my temporary setup for it. Once I get it painted, and I'll get the I might even, if I paint the sides, I might even do glow in the dark paint or some invisible paint. Like if you use the laundry detergent, it's blacklight compatible, but it's pretty much invisible, so I can clear coat the side and all with that underneath it. When I turn the lights on, it'll glow with the lettering, and you won't actually see the lettering when the lights are normally on. So just a little something fun for when I turn it into party mode and turn the black lights on. Alright, so let me just turn this thing around, show the back side of it off. Alright, so the back side of this here, as you can see, the wiring is all messed up and everything. The lights are terrible. But there's a light that goes in here, there's a light in here, and then I want to kind of put a light down here. This is where the payout tray is. So this, because this is that clear plastic, I figured this would kind of look nice with it. But basically, the balls fill in here, they travel down this. This feeds this tube here. This is basically the refill tray. Every time you lose, they come through this hole and in here. Which all these ones are still stuck in there. They have to, but these will, basically they feed through here into the tray, which is there. These will feed out here whenever you win, out into this here. And then it goes into the front tray, so you can continue using them if you want. It has a little bell from here. And let's see here. So you go down here, and basically, this is all the payout mechanism here. This is all the stuff that goes through that knocks the balls around in the front side. This is actually a counter and all, and this is a basically a mechanism that also catches the balls. It counts them, it catches them, and if the door opens up, there's this piece there's like a little metal plunger thing here that locks the balls in place, that when you actually open the front door up, it pushes that in front of it, allowing it to catch the balls so they can't fall through anymore. But I pretty much have left to do, I gotta put a panel up in front of this here. I'm going to do either a pegboard or something on the back side of this so I can use it if I need to. And I'll just kind of finish it out. And then what I like to do as far as my posters go, if you can't tell for the most part over here, I like having a flat surface with some sort of a catch so they can't slide off. I might put some actual like stoppers and stuff up here. I can put a poster rested against the wall, so I don't actually have to put posters on the wall. This one doesn't need one because I've already got something up there. So, alright, so pretty much this is the whole thing for it for now. I like to get the lighting in it so that it'll show up, light up the front, so it's nice and black light, party, nighttime fun. I gotta fix that bottom catch there so the balls go in properly. But as far as everything goes, it's almost finished. I'm so happy that I actually got this far. Even though all the messed up and blunders I've done with this here, it's actually come out very well. Things actually pretty square, given the fact I did this all by hand. So eventually, I think my next project is going to use power tools officially.